Watkins Glen International, Watkins Glen, New York. The start of the longest motorsports event in North America, One Lap of America. Over 4,000 miles, 11 racetracks in 7 days. Indy driver Lynn St. James celebrated the 13th year of One Lap by entering a team. 96 entries from around the globe are preparing to run the most grueling motorsports event, One Lap of America. The 1996 Car and Driver One Lap of America, featuring car number 5, driven by Dr. Russ Anton and R.K. Smith.
I'd never been at Hallett, and you know, and to come out in 3rd place at Hallett after these guys have had you know, the experience there. I felt we only missed it. We missed 1st place at Hallett by a 1/10 of a second. So I mean, we were right there. So I was really pleased.
Is this the first one lap?
Yeah. Yeah.
Does it surprise you, the competition?
Oh yeah, I never expected it. I thought it was more of a, you know, go just have fun kind of a deal, but it's serious. You go to the tracks and you have some hired guns here to come out, and you know, they are expected to win. I mean, I'd hate to be under the pressure some of these guys are under. They're under a lot of pressure. I mean, you see the efforts that some of these guys put into it, and you better show well for them. Yeah.
Great.
But I don't have that. Russ is good. We're out here to have a good time. This is Russ, the car owner. This is my boy right here that ran. He's the guy that owns the car. Russ, he won, what, 2 of them, and then he look out in the 3rd one. We're not drag racers. We're road racers. And so this drag racing is all new to us, and he did good. I think we did really good. We're in 8th place overall right now, and after our run at Hallett yesterday, and we're looking forward to the road courses, and I think that's where we excel. We were yesterday overall at Hallett. We've had 1 1st place overall. That was at Blackhawk. And so this is exciting. Lime Rock, Watkins, and I've never been to Summit. I've never been to Summit, but I love new tracks. I mean, to me, that's a game. Yeah, so I like new tracks. It's fun. It's fun to, just like going to Hallett yesterday. I mean, when you can go to a new track you've never seen before and do that well. I mean, you have to have a good car, but that's the fun, is to try to conquer this a little bit and see what you can do. So I'm looking forward to the road courses, yeah. And we'll do well. You know, the car may be hurting a little bit because of this water deal. I'm not quite sure, you know, if it's hurting power-wise, or, you know, just what's going on in the motor. But we'll try to baby it to all the tracks and then do what we need to do at the tracks.
Coming at you on Speed Vision, One Lap of America, 12 racetracks, 4,500 non-stop miles, 96 hot cars running on ovals, road courses, and drag strips, right here.
From the low-rolling hills of central New York State to the plains of the Midwest, these cars and these drivers are about to embark upon one of the most unique motorsports competitions in the United States. The 13th annual Odyssey, known as One Lap of America. And you'll want to buckle up because you're in for one great ride. Hello everyone, I'm Keith James, and we're here at One Lap's registration in Corning, New York. Now, if you're new to One Lap, let me take a moment and explain what the event is all about. Tomorrow morning, these 96 entries will start an odyssey that will take them north to Wisconsin, west to Oklahoma, south to Arkansas, and northeast to Connecticut, making one lap of America. Along the way, they'll stop at 11 different racetracks, and that is where the competition will really heat up.
Let's ask Brock Yates, the originator and organizer of One Lap, about this year's event.
Well, this one's different in that we've notched up the competition, obviously. This is certainly the most high-performance field we've ever had. There's some very, very fast cars here and some very experienced drivers, thank God. We've changed a little bit. We've got a couple of drag races involved in this one. We've got a little half-mile asphalt oval just to see who can keep turning left on there. So there's a lot of variety in this event, and more so than in years past.
That's right, variety in every sense of the word. The participants are divided into 9 different classes. Let's take a look at these classes. Sports GT1, Sports GT2, Luxury Sedan, Mid-priced Sedan, Vintage American, Vintage Foreign, Economy Car, Sport Utility, and Claimer Class. The competitors will run 2 laps at each track for time and points within their class structure and against the overall field. The points are cumulative and posted at every track. At the finish 6 days from now, we'll have winners in each class as well as an overall champion. The day before the official start is a day for technical inspection, loading up the cars with those all-important sponsor stickers, renewing old acquaintances, as well as striking up new ones and staying loose.
There we go. Got it going. Hey! Not that hard, really. I was getting 15. I'll probably get 10 now. So who knows?
Okay. Hi, Mom. Car number 20.
Speaking of staying loose, NK hosted a cocktail party to give the One Lap folks one final hot meal before 6 days of work on the road. This also marks their last full night's sleep in a bed.
Well, obviously, welcome to, the 13th One Lap of America. I'm delighted to have you all here. It looks like the best field of cars and drivers we've ever had. I just want to compliment you all for preparation that is above and beyond anything we've had to look at in this field, and let's hope that the driving level is up to the experience of the cars. The road portions of this event, you are representing the sport that you really love. When you're out on the public highways, you must be always aware of the fact that you are just another motorist out there. When I was doing the cannonball and running these things early, The old submariners saying, run silent, run deep, is the secret to get down the road without any problems at all. And of course, remember that your cars were cunningly disguised as race cars. You're not exactly going to be invisible out there.
We conclude 2 days of anticipation, and after the drivers' meeting, the one-lappers make their way to Watkins Glen for the official start. As the drivers unload their cars and make their final preparations in the paddock, there is already racing underway.
Each year, a number of tracks that One Lap stops at are holding races. NASCAR races at Charlotte, motorbike races at Road Atlanta. And this year, at Watkins Glen, it was the 6 hours at the Glen Endurance race by the IMSA cars that was underway.
This is Pat Riley and Steve Marshall driving the first Union car. They, along with David Murray in car number 25, will complete this 6-hour event, turn around and drive in the 6-day event, One Lap of America. The schedule gives one-lappers a chance to watch some of the IMSA race, while the IMSA fans get to see the start of One Lap. Indy driver Lynn St. James was on hand to start the 6-hour, as well as give encouragement to her all-female team entered in One Lap.
It's really no different than any other racing event, just that there's 13 racetracks in 7 days. Some people would take a whole season or more of racing to hit that many racetracks, and so I think it's a tremendous opportunity for these gals to have that exposure to the racetracks, exposure to the media, exposure to not sleeping very much in 7 days and still being competitive.
The endurance race is completed, and the one-lappers leave the paddock for the start. They make a parade lap around the Glen and go into the pits to stage for their first event and the official start of One Lap. As you will see throughout the week, Brock's crew will organize the competitors into groups of 5 or 6 according to approximate ETs. Each car gets one recognition lap, 3 forms at the start. The cars are approximately 15 seconds apart, and even though this is a solo event, passing often occurs. When the green flag drops, they take off for 2 complete laps against the clock, which will give them their official score.
Finally, after months and months of preparation and hours of hard work on the cars and their engines, One Lap of America starts at Watkins Glen with the drop of the green flag.
First off the line, defending champ David Murray in the same Porsche 911 Turbo that won overall last year. IMSA driver Shane Lewis is in car number 2. This 95 Lincolnfelter Trans Am finished second last year. Car number 3 is a 1967 Camaro. This car is in the Classic American class and had a strong 5th place finish last year. Driver Mark Stylo is aiming to move up this time around. Right on his rear bumper, Reed Kreider in car number 4, a 1991 Corvette ZR-1 that was also a top finisher in '95. You may recognize number 86 from the 6-hour. The first Union pit crew set up the 911 Carrera for the street and One Lap, and it is another contender for a top position. The final car of the first group is the second Porsche Bridgestone 911 Turbo, driven by Mike Van Sicklen and Dave Kurtz. After over 2 hours, the sun is setting on the final groups making their... The first groups are already well on their way for the overnight run to Michigan International Speedway. When we come back, we're... Welcome to Michigan International Speedway. It's 6 a.m., and it was a rainy ride. The track is sure to be wet. The cars are being unloaded, and crews are grabbing a quick bite at the first Union trailer. Let's go to the track time leaderboard for the overall standings from the Glen. In first, Murray and Scrivener in the 911. Second, Anton and Smith in the ZR-1. Third, Hopkins and Sally in the Corvette. Fourth, Lee, Haynes, and Lewis in the Trans Am. And in fifth, Edwards and Reese in the Intruder. It's going to be a competitive one lap, as only 20 points separate the first 5 cars. The groupings have been juggled to reflect the Glen results, and the Mosler Intruder now leads the first pack. In the second group, the Corvette ZR-1 of Grahovec and Hall gets the green flag. Let's take a closer look at the Michigan International Road Course. MIS offers everything for one-lap drivers. They feel the high banking, high speed of the oval used by Indy cars and NASCAR.
At the end of the main straight, they take a sharp turn onto the infield road course. With some of the faster cars reaching 150 miles per hour here, turn number 1 can be an exciting turn. Let's take a lap from the driver's point of view. As the runs continue, let's look at the cars that make up Sports GT1. With 28 entries, it's the largest and most competitive class, and the winner traditionally takes overall honors. We'll look at the other classes throughout the week. Our next stop will be Putnam Park, south of Indianapolis. Clouds are still threatening, and even though the rain holds off, the track is damp and slippery.
Corner 8 on your map is Dead Bear Corner. It's greasy and it's slick. It's almost icy going into that. So be careful. I'll tell everybody again at the start.
Putnam is a typical club racing road course, and drawing that cornering ability rather than raw power is an advantage here. We pick up the action as the third group is running. A 93 Mazda RX-7 spins between turns 9 and 10. The safety margin of the solo runs makes most mishaps minor, with just a little loss of time and ego. A brief ray of sunshine peeks through the clouds just as a pass is underway. In the same group, a VW GTI just misses catching an Audi Quattro at the finish line. One Lap is an event full of traditions, and there is usually at least one police cruiser entered. Contestants come from all walks of life, and a few are well-known drivers. Without a huge purse or winner's circle, why do pro drivers like David Murray, Tom Rees, and Shane Lewis participate? Here's veteran SCCA and IMSA driver Reed Kreider.
Every professional driver wants a trophy. Every professional driver would like to make some money, and there is no money in this. But there is that inner drive to do well. I think even if the trophy wasn't there, even if there was just a piece of paper somewhere or something in the media, just a record that said you finished first or you did well, that's enough of a goal for most of us.
Many of these one-lap participants return year after year for the long miles, no sleep, and high-speed racing.
It gets more fun, more interesting every year. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. I really, get a chance to go out on the track, open the car up, do what I want to do.
It's starting to rain as we wrap things up at Putnam, and the drivers head out for a checkpoint in Greencastle, Indiana. They are looking forward to another early morning run at Road America in Wisconsin. While they're on the drenched highway, let's hear how they sum up one lap in one word.
For me, frustrating. I haven't won yet.
Fantastic.
Adventure. Awesome. And you can interpret that how you like. It's grueling, but it's also awesome.
The word would be, well, it'd have to be more than one word. The experience of a lifetime is what I would say, for me anyway.
When we come back, racing at Road America and Blackhawk Farms. Driving all night is bad enough, but heavy fog at sunrise made just finding Road America a challenge. The teams went through the motions of unloading their cars, but things didn't look too promising for a run. Brock and his crew kept an eye on the fog and weighed the decision to race or not.
But let's hang out. We got another 25 minutes or 30 minutes before we make a decision, and we may have a little bit longer than that.
Okay.
Modifying the first Union Porsche for the street didn't include all the amenities, such as a real window.
We don't want to lose this.
No.
It really helped keep the rain and stuff out come flying in.
It was great. It was absolutely great. The people at the toll booth in Chicago really appreciated it.
Oh, I'll bet they liked that, yeah.
This unscheduled rest gave one-lappers time to tend to the important things. Take naps, tweak their cars, and build friendships.
You know, Miniker had the fastest lap time over there. He said, what? I said, yeah, but it didn't go through the infield.
Give us a drivers.
I think it's been a really good time. You know, we've had fun and get to see a lot of the country and meet a lot of nice people here that are from all over.
And that's the way it goes. You know, one of the real famous tracks, we're really looking forward to running on it, but can't run in the fog.
Yeah, that's too bad because we were hoping to do really well here.
Here's your speeding.
You know. So hopefully, I think they might set something possibly running Blackhawk twice. So.
We're in the exact same position we came into this event at.
As safety is of prime concern, fog officially cancels Road America, and the drivers settle for a parade lap before heading for Blackhawk, Illinois, where they will have 2 runs to make up for Road America, plus be timed for 3 laps and not 2. It's mid-morning, and the sun is shining on the track, but not car number 2.
Not a clue. Just going down the straightaway about 6,000 and she just stopped.
Shane Lewis's Trans Am kisses a tire wall and is forced to drop out, for now. The first group is underway on the Blackhawk Road course. Another club Reese's Intruder slips by David Murray's 911.
We were just trying to get some of the bugs out of it, and we got the bugs out, I think, now. And watch out for Tom. He's very, very fast. Here he comes. He's in the lead. We got him by 11 seconds.
Blackhawk requires braking and cornering skills. And with cars getting 3 laps, not the customary 2, there is plenty of action. A 96 Impala SS running in the mid-priced sedan class is gaining on a 95 Z28 in the sports GT2 class. As they come around again, we see the Impala has made the pass.
If you get off the pavement, I'm sure it's going to be a wild ride into the trees. They may not find you till Sunday at this place.
As one lap drives on, drivers try to keep their cars competitive. We watch co-driver Mark White attempt to eliminate his tire from rubbing the fender using great finesse.
Yeah, please, everybody.
You get good looking when you can. There we go.
On the start finish line. Let's 5:23:37.
Well, we've been collecting change off the ground as we've been going along. So far, we've collected 10 cents in change. And everything we find on the ground is, of course, going to Ronald McDonald and is adding to our donation for this year.
Here's a good look at the entire track at Blackhawk from Ed Dellis's BMW. Ed finished the week a strong 21st overall and 2nd in class.
Let's hear how it feels to be in first place.
Come around to one corner and saw it closed on them quite a bit. Then I just kind of cooled it just a little bit, so I didn't want to crash, you know, when I was reeling them in. So when I got past them, then it was just don't do anything silly at that point. So we let the car do the work, and all you got to do is steer it.
As it turns out, the Porsche had a problem that required a transmission change, and the Mosler's bugs might be worked out for now, but one lap is one long event. Wednesday, 6:45 a.m. Central Time. You may have noticed a pattern in that many of the track events are early in the morning after an all-night run. This is the middle of one lap in the heartland of America, Heartland Park, Topeka, Kansas. This 1972 Chevy Blazer street rod is in the Vintage American class. Let's take this opportunity to look at a couple more classes. Vintage American is for cars manufactured before 1986. Vintage foreign entries are also pre-1986, and these two classes comprise the most diverse selection of makes and models in one lap. Let's look ahead to their final class standings. Now, it's on to the furthest point west for one lap 96, Hallett, Oklahoma. Fatigue is getting to be more of a factor, but the timed event stimulates adrenaline, and with 2 laps against the clock, the teams are wide awake. A tradition of one lap of America is the support of charitable institutions. Individual participants take advantage of one lap to raise money and awareness for a variety of nonprofit causes.
We are running a marrow registration drive for the National Marrow Donors Program and the Leukemia Society of America as part of Project Share Life to get people throughout the United States to register as potential marrow donors by calling 1-800-MARROW-2.
Laps to Conquer MS Incorporated, a charity for multiple sclerosis. We're continuing the drive to end multiple sclerosis and for us to win. And another event. We'd love to have another win for Sunoco and Aurora.
It's only sheet metal. This car is for Transplant Recipients International Organization. I've had transplants before. The car can have a few transplants and we'll be great.
We really want people to understand the need to sign their organ donor cards, and the second step is to discuss the issue with their families. We're not asking for money from anybody, we're just asking them to consider organ donation.
We're actually promoting Race for the Cure, the Susan B. Komen Foundation, which is to promote research and awareness for breast cancer. So we've got a nice charity that Lincoln Mercury and Ford have been promoting and been a supporter for the last 2 years.
In the first time I did the event, which would be 6 years ago this year, was just after my dad was diagnosed with some cancer. So this is our 6th year with the Canadian Cancer Society, and this year will put us over $70,000 in Canadian funds that we've raised for them. I mean, when else do you get a chance to go and have a big time and raise a bunch of money and do some good? I mean, it's just the best.
Later in the week at the awards banquet, in part as recognition for their charitable work, Dan Corcoran and Mark White received the Diamond Jim Brady Award for outstanding sportsmanship. Crossing the Mississippi into Memphis, Tennessee. One lap 96's southern tip. Elaine, one of Brock's assistants, rescues a stray cat, and after the adoption, Lapper is nursed to perfect health. One aspect of one lap's variety is drag racing. One lap uses the bracket drag format, which means cars have a staggered start, giving all competitors an equal chance, regardless of horsepower.
Spun through first like usual, and second gear it spun, and then all of a sudden it buried the tack about halfway and started going sideways. That's all I could do to keep from changing lanes.
Cars are run 2 at a time, each round eliminating half the cars until the final 2 competitors race for the top points. At Memphis, as at all the races, Track time personnel were on hand to oversee track layout and safety. Throughout the event, some teams have a specified driver for the tracks, and other teams alternate racing duties.
It's my car, and I guess he probably figured I'd probably push it harder than he might. And we're having a lot of fun. These are important points right now. We're getting down to the point where, 4 races on the last day, and these can mean a lot, so we're really concentrating. I'm having a ball, though.
We are 2,500 miles into it. We're over halfway. We're doing great, and we're getting better every day.
Is in the sport utility class. Because one lap is open to any street-worthy vehicle, sport utility, economy, and claimer class allows enthusiasts to participate and still compete in the true one-lap spirit without the muscle and expense of a high-priced car. Economy class cars are under $12,000 according to the Car and Driver New Car Buyer's Guide. Claimer class is a real run-what-you-brung class, instituted last year by a couple of car and driver writers who were challenged to find a car for $1,000 to complete one lap. Claimer class keeps entrants honest by allowing anyone to offer $1,000 for a car at the end of the event.
It's the first time at one lap, and we're really having the time of our lives. It's a lot of fun. We'd like to thank the organizers for letting us get in. It was a last-minute thing, and we bought this car just for the event, and so far she's running real good, and we're real happy with it.
So what happened to the bumpers?
Well, it's weight reduction. Imagine having 2 medicine balls at the ends of your car, 70 pounds apiece. Doesn't turn so good, so we take off those medicine balls. It handles a lot better.
Let's take a quick look at these classes and their final standings. The rest of the day is spent on the highway. Destination, Summit Point, West Virginia. The highway miles are a major part of the one-lap experience. Avoiding unscheduled stops is one goal.
We left on Route 17 was pretty inactive until the end of it, where the New York State Troopers had, I think it was three police cars, and there was a sheriff there waiting for people. Through Cleveland, they seemed to be everywhere, in most of Ohio, and we probably saw some people pulled over with tickets, which saved us 12 times. So the rumor has it that 34 of the cars got tickets.
It's beaten me a little bit, but I think, once you get going and your body starts to adjust, it gets a little easier. I think maybe next year we'll start early and before we get here, so we'll feel a little bit better.
A lot of miles in a car where you can't lay down. That's tough. So you better like who you're with.
It's real comfortable from racetrack to racetrack, the open top, but the most important thing is lots of sunblock. You got to have lots of sunblock because you cook in the sun.
It is, in essence, America in herself. The people, the folks who have helped us along the way. Tim up in Ann Arbor, just a guy that my dad met at a driving school in Phoenix, came out to watch our M6 because he likes BMWs. Happened to be there when we blew our car apart on the track, and basically, chaperoned our car back to his business. He's going to arrange to have our car sent back to Charleston. And just people like that, people that the waitress in the pizza place last night who had a smile for us and was, so helpful. Those kind of things are what make America what she is and what Dad and I are enjoying so much. Not just the motorhead stuff, but bumping elbows with the great people in America.
Friday, 6:45 a.m. Eastern Time, Summit Point. Beautiful sunrise. And it's down to business. Once again, we have a road course that makes the drivers feel at home. By this time, all the drivers are hoping to avoid surprises and are being careful not to let fatigue cause a mistake. Let's watch some of the Summit Point action as we listen to a few more of the many one-lap stories.
Yeah, we're just trying not to make any big mistakes and have some fun at this point, which is all we really came for.
We, unfortunately, we bent 2 rims on our way to Lime Rock, so we had to
call for reinforcements and get our old street tires brought up, put on. So we've run with the street tires. But, okay. Survived, we got to run.
It's not the original car, as you can see. It's like a big joke. We began this event with an awesome black 1985 BMW M6 in the vintage foreign class. And in the second event, the clutch blew all over the track at Michigan International. And so we put it on a truck and we sent it home. And this guy named Kim was very helpful. He took us to Detroit, to the airport, and rented this awesome Ford Taurus with a 3.0 V6 in it. And Brock Yates was gracious enough to let us continue the event. Although our points don't count, we're still having as much fun as everyone else.
Well, this is a car that was here in '92 and sort of got rolled up in turn 11. So it was rebuilt after 4 years, and we had to come back to see if it could finish one without getting crashed again.
To drive all night to get here, we're going down the highway and all of a sudden, bang, blow a tire. Not we didn't think was a big deal. But to find 315, 35, 17s in a little town somewhere is pretty tough. So we go down the road, we pull into Firestone. Firestone's headed them across town. They must have knew we were from out of town, obviously. They only charge us 3 times what we can get them for. So we get new tires, we get them on, we get down the highway. All of a sudden, bang, Heim joint breaks. We pull off the side of the road. Luckily, we got one in the toolbox. We throw a Heim joint on the car. We're going back down the road. It feels real mushy in the back. We're thinking, gosh, must have not put enough air in the tires. So we go to stop, get off the exit ramp, hit the brakes, go right through the stop sign up the other on-ramp. No brakes, broke a brake line. So then we limp it down to the next exit. Luckily, there's a truck stop, buy a brake line, threw it on, pulled the tire off that we thought was leaking. Sure enough, they cut the bead when they put it on. Brand new tire. So we rubber cement the crap out of it to get it to seal up. After we seal it all up, we're in the car and away we go. And today we had to go get an alignment done because it was all over the road. But now at this track, we're flying. It was great. It felt good. Better than it has since we left home. And it's too bad the race is almost over because we're really starting to get the hang of this.
The pace of one lap continues. As the last groups leave for Lime Rock, Connecticut, let's look at the final results from Summit Point. Lime Rock, Connecticut. We're over 3,000 miles into the event. What's on the minds of the one-lappers? The final results from Summit showed car number 2 in first place, but they've been out since. What happened?
At Blackhawk, we experienced an intermittent electronic problem that caused the engine to stop running in the middle of one of the turns during our first hot lap. So we went back to our shop in Indiana and fixed the problem. That caused us to also miss Heartland Park, Hallett, and Memphis events. We did get back in time for the Summit Point event in West Virginia this morning, where the car finished first overall.
The first place Mosler team was, of course, glad to see them back.
That was a pretty nauseating thing having them back, but
You're mine. You're mine.
actually I thought that was great. You know, they took off and got their car fixed and came back. I thought that was really great. And when I found out that he was going to be here, or be at, where the heck were we just
I don't
today?
know. Summit
Point. I thought that was, I was really looking forward to that. And the neat thing was he went out there and won the event.
Lime Rock has plenty of action, and the spectators got to watch Big Bend and the S's collect their share of casualties. Another sedan group is leaving for a recon lap. The luxury sedan class is any sedan priced over $30,000. And this year, there are 9 entries fighting it out. There are 13 entries in the mid-priced sedan class, any sedan under $30,000. These vehicles offer room to stretch out.
It's a real comfortable car, so all the highway routes have been really pretty good.
We're in the luxury class.
Yeah, a lot of room.
We're looking at that the Mercury Mountaineer, thinking next year that'd be nice to do.
As far as spinning out and losing 2 days working on the car, this has been an adventure this year.
Last 2 years, I've seen a Chevy Impala Super Sport at this event. 2 years ago, there was one, the Morgan car right behind us. And then last year, there were 5 Impala Super Sports. So I immediately, after one lap last year, went out and bought this car.
Here's how the sedan group finished. As Lime Rock wraps up, who grabbed first place points? Car number 2.
I really wanted to come back for the guys at the Lingenfelter shop. They really busted their butts trying to get this car fixed. It was just it was a fluke, a small electrical thing that no one could have guessed would have happened to Blackhawk. So we decided, hey, we're going to get this car. We're just going to come finish the event. And we came out here and we won 2 in a row. The guys at the shop have done an excellent job of preparing it. And I just hope we can go on and maybe win some more.
Since 1986, Mosler Automotive has been manufacturing ultra-high-performance sports cars for everyday driving. We'd like to introduce you to the Intruder. Powered by a 450-horsepower V8 and built by the legendary John Lingenfelter. Other features such as air conditioning, power steering, and over 20 miles per gallon take this car to another class. The Mosler Intruder, truly the ultimate sports car for everyday driving.
You can really muster up the energy for 3 laps, 1 recon lap and 2 hot laps. So even with being short on sleep, the co-driver drives a bit and you get a little bit of sleep, you're usually able to do pretty good, muster up enough energy to do the 3 laps at your best. Well, after I saw the guys at the start in the Lotus, the little Lotus 7, with, they're just shoved down into this car, I felt pretty lucky because I had a roof over my head. I knew I was going to be dry. So what I thought was going to be uncomfortable initially really hasn't been too bad. There's a lot of room in the car if you know where to find it. Well, for sure the Lingenfelter motor is an advantage because they're going to give us a lot more horsepower than the standard Corvette. And I think we've established that in some of the events. We had a pretty slow start, and I felt that the car was getting slower as we went on, and just a couple hours ago we found out that both headers were cracked and we were losing power. And so we had those fixed on the way here, and it's a tremendous difference. I'm looking forward to this track. I've never done this track before. I haven't even seen it, but I think we're going to do okay. I don't think we'll beat this guy right here, but that's okay. We don't need to beat anybody at this point. We just got to make sure we don't crash the car.
Good morning. Saturday, the last day, and one of the busiest. Lancaster is a dragway and oval that was a last-minute substitute.
We had a little bit of a scare when we woke up and realized not only did we not have directions to the racetrack, we did not even know which racetrack to go to. So we ended up at the Highway Patrol, of all places, where they told us exactly where they thought an 8th mile with an oval would be. And their last comments to us on our way out the door was no speeding. So we sort of chuckled at that and made it here, went racing by here with a horn on, just glad we found the place.
Lancaster offered 2 types of racing, the first of which was another bracket drag, this time on an 1/8 of a mile drag strip. As the drag race is underway, let's get some reviews of the 13th one-lap.
We saw more of the countryside. First year we were more anxious and looked at the road book a lot more, and now we enjoyed the ride, I think, a lot more than last year. So it was more relaxing, less stressy, I guess. So.
Grueling, I guess. I don't know. It's just tiresome, but it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
I really thought the scoring was the best I've ever seen. Bruce and I have been rallying 10 years. This is my 3rd one lap. The scoring was outstanding, and the procedure they used, and I really like being able to get 4 to 6 hours of sleep and shower and clean underwear every night.
More and more professionals are showing up every year, and the amateurs are better and better. Cars get better and better. The same people run the same tracks over and over, so competition is very, very keen. You got to be on top of it every single time you go out on the track.
Number 41 finishes third in the sports GT2 class. There are 14 entries in this class, suggested list prices under $30,000. Here's how the sports GT2 finished. The second race at Lancaster is on the quarter-mile oval. Just 2 cars race at a time, and it's another great track for spectators. It's a short drive from Lancaster to Wyoming, New York for a checkpoint at Brock Yates's Cannonball Pub. The entire town welcomes one-lappers and enjoys the excitement.
Gotta have the handshakes with the one-lap plate.
Oh, this is great.
I'd like to donate my one-lap plate to your bar.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks very much. We'll put it in. Get myself a hammer and nails right now.
You got it.
It's called motor sport. It's not motor business. And it's supposed to be a sport. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be something that we do for pleasure. It's a contest, but at the same time, we should come away from an automobile race without feeling that we spent $72 million and we scared ourselves to death, or we did some really desperately high-risk thing. We're trying to do this as a level of challenge to the competitors, but at the same time, it's supposed to be a sport. It's supposed to be fun.
As we wrap up in Wyoming, New York, the groups are on their way for the final track of One Lap 96, Watkins Glen. Let's hear from the drivers as they attempt to sum up one lap in one word.
A different
adventure.
Just getting out on the open road and going for a while. And stopping at racetracks is all the better. So a week of driving is fantastic.
Gotta be flexible. You gotta survive.
You gotta be consistent.
Yep.
4,200 miles and 7 days later, the one-lap fun ends right here where it all began, at Watkins Glen.
Oh, wait a minute. Well, you know, makes it look like we don't do anything here, buddy. The last event. Yeah, it's the last event, last one.
These drivers, they're all the same.
As the final event gets underway, the green flag drops on the first group, which contains the fastest overall performers. First off, Edwards and Reese in car number 8, the Mosler Intruder. They captured first place at Blackhawk and held on for first place overall and first in the sports GT1 class. Murray and Scribner in car number 1, corrected their problems with a transmission change and put continuous pressure on the Mosler throughout the week. They completed one lap less than 100 points behind. This 911 Turbo earned second place overall and second in Sports GT1. Car number 2 missed one checkpoint and 3 track events, but the Lingenfelter Trans Am took first place 6 times, and the Lee, Haynes, and Lewis team is expected to return in '97 to challenge for the championship. Car number 9, the Aldrum Brothers ZR-1, captured 4th overall and 5th in the Sports GT1 class. 3rd place overall and 4th in class, car number 4, Team Clueless, the Wilson Kreider ZR-1. This is the highest placing non-factory sponsored finisher. Let's take a look at the remaining top overall finishers. Shortly after the sun sets on the final cars getting the checkered flag, all contestants gather at the Glen Club for dinner and the awards ceremony.
Little medal. You acted wonderfully. You were always on time. You were ready to go. You behaved in a highly professional manner, and I cannot tell you how proud I am of all of you. The wonderful way you all raced and ran everywhere through this event. Give yourselves a big hand.
The trophy for first place was accepted by car number 8, the Mosler Intruder of Edwards and Reese.
He did all the driving.
He did all the whining in the car.
Connecting rods from their top fuel dragster were donated by the McDonald's racing team to become very unique one-lap 1996 trophies. These trophies were awarded to the top 3 in each class. A second special award for sportsmanship, named for Joe Schuster, who won the great race of 1908, was presented to Rich Ehrenberg, Kevin Wesley, and Mark Grublich in car number 15.
A lot of nice people here. We really enjoyed ourselves. One lap is really much larger and much more aggressive and competitive event than I thought. So, it's quite an accomplishment to be able to do this, so we had a good time.
As the stories are still being swapped and the plans are starting for one lap 1997, we say great driving and good night.